Hey everybody, I'm Justin Bohn.
And I'm Mike Val.
And this is the Bohn and Zano Zone, where we are always on the lanes, off the charts, and on the mic. Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Bohn and Zano Zone podcast presented by BuddiesProShop.com. I'm Justin Bohn with my partner, Mike Val. And we got two TV final recaps today. Are you muted? I cannot hear you, Mike. Try it on your headset. Your headset might be muted. So we're here with technical difficulties. Still can't hear you. And, we lost him. So we've actually got a special guest in here today with us, standout youth bowler, and one of my good friends down from Florida, Michael Harmon Jr. You're here joining us today. You're going to be recapping the shows with us. This is going to be a fun time. And Mike's back. Hopefully he's got some better audio. Nope.
Still can't hear him.
Nope. I can see you talking. I can see you moving your lips, but you're not. Take your time. You know what? Fix your audio, and we'll just start plugging our stuff. You're working on it. Well, Mike, how's your day going?
That's going all right.
Good.
I just got a case of bowling balls, so gonna go drill those bad boys.
That's
got a tournament this weekend, so
it's gotta be pretty exciting stuff. It's always a fun feeling when you got a case of ball show by your doorstep.
Yeah, I got it's a knockout, a Black Widow 2.0, Hero Solid, and Aerodynamics.
All right.
All balls I heard you say are pretty good, so.
Yeah, those are some pretty good ones that we've got out right now. So, Mike, tell us a little about yourself for those of the viewers that don't know who you are, where you're from, what you do, all that good stuff.
Well, I'm from down here in Florida, Rockledge, Florida, right next to the Space Center. I have been bowling for quite some time now. First really big national tournament I did was Teen Masters Richmond. It was the 2016, I think it was, right?
2017.
Correct me if I'm wrong. 2016 Richmond Teen Masters.
2017.
Okay. Well, that was like the first big tournament I bowled, and I was bowling pretty well there. And then I missed the cut to match play. I really bowled myself out of that one. But then first year junior goal was 2017. I actually bowled you and the match play portion of that tournament and lost to you. But yeah, I've since then, I've gotten better continuously, and this last year I feel like I've really stepped up my game, started practicing more, and put some more time into it, and the results are showing. I had that SYC win at Orlando, which was pretty awesome. Threw the rock really well that weekend, and I mean, just been bowling a lot recently. Still making a college decision, so just as you are, and excited for what next year is going to be. Excited for college. Awesome.
So, Mike's a part of the crew. He's in all the vlogs whenever we're together. That's event when we travel to some of those bigger events. He's also around. So, Mike, we actually got a question in the chat for you. What is your rev rate? Basically, give us a rough estimate.
It kind of like depends on what type of where in the lane I'm playing actually, but it's really like it's pretty close to 500. I'd say about 470 to 500, right in that range, if not more. I really do get after it sometimes when I'm throwing the ball a little bit harder and I'm playing a little bit further left. I'm able to really get onto it. But when I'm trying to like throw the ball straighter, you'd say, I kind of like change my access rotation and get a little bit less on it.
Using those big words here. I see. So, Mike Val, you got any audio fixed yet?
He's having a tough time over there.
Not good, fellas. Not good.
I hear you.
We can hear you. Can you hear us?
That's tough.
Mike, we can hear you if you can hear us. Wow. All right.
And he's gone.
And Mike always yells
just the two of us.
Mike always yells at me for having bad internet. So, you know what? I think that we're going to start talking about the shows a little bit, about the whole players format. Mike's back. I don't want to get too into this without him. So, can you hear us? Can we hear you?
Now?
Yes.
Yes, I can hear you.
Well, thank fucking Christ you can hear me. Excuse my language. My God. Jesus almighty. This is almost as bad as the patterns on tour in these shows, my audio today.
Dude, your internet's almost as bad as mine.
Did I say that out loud?
I think you did.
Sorry.
Yeah, so you're all right. You're all right. So, Mike, you got a tournament plug that you would like to plug here on the show real quick before we get into it. Go right ahead.
So Justin, and I told you this, I think it was on Super Bowl Sunday was the news when I got it. Here in the Jersey, PA area, there's been this is the third one. It's called WTA 3, and it's a team tournament, a 5-man team tournament, and WTA winner take all. So I have been selected as the 12th and last spot in the next winner take all tournament at Morrisville on March the 21st, I believe. But this one's a little bit different. This one is going to be, they're calling it winner take all 3, Battle of the Pro Shops.
Okay.
So the shop that will be represented will be, Justin, ready for it?
I could take a wild guess, but I mean, you got it on your shirt. So
we have it on our shirt. So Buddies will be the 12th team entered in this tournament on the 21st of March. It's either the 20th or 21st of March. I don't remember exactly. It's one of those 2 days at Morrisville. So we are going to be representing the Ball Doctor up in Connecticut in that event. And like I said, it's a winner take all. And they do good things. The guys that run it, I haven't partaken in one yet, but his name is Chris Garrett. And we'll probably get him on maybe like a week or two before. And the way I understand it, it's like a draft show. So they'll bring the captain of the team, which is myself, on to his little platform, whatever he does. And then I get to announce my roster at that time. So it's 5-man, then it goes to some Baker games. So you and your brother will have to help me form the Buddies Pro Shop team so we can go run these guys over and take $5,000 home where it belongs in our hands and nobody else's.
Yeah, we can work on that at a later date.
Yeah, at a later date, but that's gonna be a pretty cool event, and that's what's going on. But we do have 2 shows to break down.
Yeah, and I don't think we should waste any more time considering that you had some audio issues. So I think we should get to it.
Let's do it.
So starting with the first show, featured Tom Smallwood, becoming the 3rd #1 seed to win his region. So we will start off with the first match, featuring first time on TV, Zach Weidman, Bohn against, well, you probably know the guy is Bohn, Mr. Big Nasty West Malott.
He has a green jacket.
Yeah, we should ask him if he wears his around the house.
Yeah.
Or out to dinner.
Yeah.
This guy does not throw the ball bad at all.
No, he doesn't. And it looked like every ball he threw was going to be a 3-6-10, and it just kind of backed up and just put 10 back every shot.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys noticed this like I did, but like with this is kind of like been a recurring pattern with the other shows is that the fifth or the fifth or the fourth seed will get all the way, like kind of like we'll run like the ladder a little bit, and then they always lose to the number one seed.
No, you're right. I love that, by the way, with Wes right there. Just I can't bowl with a mask, and he rips it right off. It's phenomenal. That was the best part of the whole show right there.
It's lovely.
I mean, I know what's the ratio of this? Somebody said it's like 4.5 to 1. Is that true?
I don't know, but it's got to be pretty darn high.
I mean, they are pretty soft.
Yeah, they are definitely more open than some other PBA events that we've watched on TV. But I think part of that is because I think that this little run of PBA Players Championships TV shows, I think they're made for TV. Obviously, like we have events like the league and the playoffs that you want to see strikes, you want to see exciting matches, and you want to see it come down to who can make the best shots. But I think an event like this is meant to try and grow viewership on TV. And when you see matches that are low scoring, you don't want to watch them. When you see matches like this that are, I mean, right now we're looking at 58, 237, and that's exciting to watch.
I know it's exciting to watch, but you got to think of how long are these players going to want to do this stuff? Because I know it's very frustrating, when I'm in an event and I'm throwing better shots in my part than the person I'm bowling against, and they're beating me. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And I think that these players saw pretty challenging patterns. At least in qualifying, they saw a few. They bowled on 4 different patterns. Yeah. I think some of them were hard. Some of them were a little bit more opened up. But I think this also allowed some new faces to get on TV, get comfortable on TV, and show their skills and, well, really take advantage of the scene that they're in. So match number 2 featured Zach Weidman and Ronnie Russell. Zach beat out Wes Malott in game 1, 258 to 237. And you see there he started off just like how he finished game 1.
Good to see Ronnie Russell back, by the way.
Yeah, that is very true. I know he's actually made the show with the players a few times.
Yeah.
Has bowled really well in the past. But he is definitely, it's been seen that he struggled recently, and it's good that he's now back on TV.
And he throws it so good. I mean, he throws it phenomenal.
See this match starting off slow scoring. Both have the front 3. Sarcasm, by the way.
That ball just that little labor to make the move down lane.
Yeah, it pushed like, and there you go. That was. I think he knew as soon as he whiffed that one that it was over.
I mean, anytime you're bowling on something that is this open, you're gonna need some help from your opponents because this pattern is meant to throw strikes. It's meant to get in there, swing it, and make the lane look like they're easy. And you see there, he's already down 43 with 4 frames to go.
Yeah, it was like bumper. It's like bumper bowling for adults, basically.
Yeah, I mean, Zach really made this pattern his and took advantage of the scenario he was given.
You know what's amazing too? It seemed like in every show, the rookie or the first-time finalist absolutely crowbarred him.
Yeah. You see here, he's on the front 9, and the game prior, he just bowled 258.
Yeah. I mean, it's like
he shoot 800 for his first 3?
Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy.
It's like he was bowling league, basically. I mean, he absolutely he took the lights and the camera out of play altogether.
Yeah, and I think that was actually pretty helpful and was what allowed these new guys to take advantage of the high scores was that they were as open as they were, and it allowed them to throw as many strikes as they could because they basically just had to get it off their hand and it was going to get to the pocket. And it allowed those new guys to really get in there and get comfortable quick.
But is that really bowling? Isn't bowling splitting boards, making the best shot possible, and then picking up your 9 spare? You know what I mean?
I think there are certain events that are like that, but I do think that it is good to have events like this that are more open. I mean, like when you look at the U.S. Open, obviously the U.S. Open is about splitting boards and making really good decisions, and they are very hard. But I think there is times where patterns like this that are this soft are good for the tour and good for TV. I don't think many events are like this, and I do think that with the unique format and the unique circumstances, I thought it worked really well.
But not for 250,000. I'm sorry. I agree with Mike. Like, there's a time and a place to have an event like this.
PBA league.
Yeah, you want to do it in the league, you want to do it at the World Series or the Strike Derby, whatever they call it. But not when you're bowling for 250,000. You got to make them a little harder for 250. Have to do it.
I completely agree with Mike on that one, just because I did love the format of the, you had the 5 regions. I thought that was great. More TV time, show bowling more. But I hate it for the guys who are, seasoned veterans and who you saw were throwing the ball good, and they just have that one wrap 10 a game, or that blower 7 one time a game, and they lose because of that. I don't think you should lose a game based on one hit, not getting one hit. And that's kind of how it was, because when you got to shoot 250 to win, that means you can only not strike like twice.
Yeah. No, he's right. It's almost like your bowling league, or like a local tournament where you got to pray you got the right ball in your hand and you can carry more than your opponent. And that's really all this kind of came down to, was like a carry contest, really.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Andrew. He bowled a great game. He's at about 240, and see ya.
And as much as I know, like when you look at this game specifically, Zach had started at least with a double and then had the spare in the middle. Andrew missed a single pin in the first frame, and that's what ended up costing him this match, on top of that poorly executed shot right there. But I mean,
give him the spare there. Give him the spare in the first.
He wins the game.
If everything plays out the way it does, what's he going to bowl? So he goes 9 spare.
He bowls 275.
That's a whole different scenario with Weidman getting up in the 10th.
Exactly. So as this game was the strike contest, that one spare he made in the first frame, with the score that Zach put up, would have been enough to win the game. Obviously, you never know once he gets up after this point. But, yeah. I mean, you need to double the win on TV. It's a lot more pressure than just getting the first one.
Yeah, no, you're right. But knowing you need a double on TV when you have 3 to 4 boards on each side of the spot is a lot different. Your swing is a lot looser than when you can't miss by more than a half. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like your mindset. Look at like the famous clip of Weber when he won the U.S. Open at Carolier the last time, right? They're 140 feet. They're miserably flat. He needs to strike to win. He misses by a half. He's not striking. You know what I mean? Like how much pressure is that when you have to split the seam to knowing, okay, I have 3 boards I can throw it to. It's a whole different,
Right.
There's still a lot of pressure though.
Oh yeah.
Like there is a tremendous amount of pressure when I think it is being a rookie. There even is a lot of pressure when you're not a rookie on TV, because there's the pressure of, winning. Yeah. And, everybody is out there to win. So they're going to do everything in their power to do it. And when you got to throw a strike in the 10th, it's the pressure is definitely on, because all that stuff starts going through your head and stuff like that. And it's really only the ones who can block all that crap out and, be able to make a quality executed shot.
100% right. But like I said, your swing's a lot looser when you don't have to split the seam and you have like 3 or 4 boards you can throw it to and get it back.
That is true too.
And I think that is also a prime, I think these shows specifically are a prime example of, I understand the splitting boards makes bowlers look a lot better. But when they've got this much room and are able to get the right ball in their hands, make the right surface choice, play the right part of the lane, and create this amount of room for them. I mean, there are times where we all bowl on these patterns that are 4-1 and still don't strike. I mean, Mike, you see it all the SYC events that I do. I mean, most of the SYC patterns are roughly 4-1, and they are definitely open for the players that know what they're doing. But the people that don't, they struggle quite a bit.
There's also that factor of it's 4-1, but you got 8 people on a pair, or 4 people on a pair. That's a lot
Right.
different than just stepladder final.
Yeah.
Justin, just think of this. My Masters tournament that I ran 2 weeks ago, that pattern was flatter than this. And that's for a local association event.
True.
Total. And I'm going to go off the topic of the pattern for a second. Can somebody explain to me how Tom Smallwood hooks the ball as a full roller like that? I've always been fascinated by how he does this.
He's got such a unique release. It is unreal.
I think he's the only person that has that kind of a release, right?
Yeah, I think he's the only one that actually does that.
Like a full roller is normally somebody who just kind of like knuckles it up the boards. I've never seen anybody like this before.
I think it's a little bit of that figure kind of that he got in his swing. You notice he gets it out to the right and then tucks it back in. I think that's what allows him to get so inside of it and get around it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My opinion.
He is tough, man. He's been tough for a long time.
Yeah, and you've said it a couple times now that Smallwood is the man when the money's on the line. He always finds a way.
Always finds a way.
And the last time it was for $250K, he led the tournament.
Exactly. And like I think I even told you, he used to bowl these big things in Long Island years ago, before he was even a thought of going on tour. It was like 15 or 20 grand on Memorial Day weekend out in Garden City. He would come in from Michigan, and they were impossible. He'd run them over. He ran them over for 3 years in a row, and he always finds a way when the money's on the line somehow. The guy's unbelievable. Ice water in his veins.
Yeah.
Back to the topic about how easy the pattern is. I just want to say one thing that it could be. I'm not trying to draw a conspiracy here, but don't you think it makes the Bohn ball brands look a lot better when you're striking with their equipment?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because back to like the U.S. Open thing, they're not striking a lot, but they're still making quality shots, and the ball's still probably doing what they want it to do. But on this, they don't have to make that many good shots, and their ball's just going to strike and rail the pins.
Yeah,
and back there is a great shot to win it.
Yeah, and I do think that it is good. It is beneficial to see these guys do this because it is exciting as a fan of any sport, not just bowling, to watch something that we can't do, right? I mean, you watch some of the best athletes in other sports do something that you can't do, and it's pretty exciting. I think these 5 TV shows, watching these guys just strike and strike and strike as I'm not going to say a diehard fan of bowling like the three of us are, but someone who's been involved in bowling for only a few short years and really can't throw these amount of strikes. I think it's exciting to watch for those fans, and I think that's what the goal was behind the pattern being this soft for these TV shows.
Well, let me give you another scenario, Justin. Think of it. And I'm playing total devil's advocate here, right? The casual league guy, right? Or I'm not even going to say the league guy. The casual bowler who's like 207, right? They watch this and they say, "Wow, these guys are bowling 250 to 60." I bowl that in league. Don't you think that gives them the false hope of joining bowling and getting their brains beat in?
Well, off of that, I think there are patterns or TV shows where it's only 220 to 210 where they are a little bit harder and they have to split more boards. And then they see that and they bowl 250 in league and they go, "Wow, I'm 30 pins better than these guys."
Yeah.
So I think seeing something where they are this open and the scores are this high, I liked it.
Helps remind league bowlers that
these guys know how to strike.
These guys are the best in the world.
Yeah, but it also gives the guy that's 225 or 230, hey, I can do the same thing. Or when they're bowling 180 on TV, I can bowl 180. I can do that no problem.
Right.
And that's where the reality check comes in eventually.
So recapping, before we get into this one, let's finish off recapping that show. Obviously, Zach Weidman lit him up for 3 games. The first match was kind of close with Wes. He needed 20 in the 10th and struck the first ball. The second match wasn't really close. He had the front 9, another bowler to have a lot of strikes going into the 10th. The third match came down in the 10th frame. And it came down to who doubled in the 10th or who showed up in the 10th. And that was Zach once again. And then this last game, I just think Smallwood bowled a better game as a whole than Zach did. I think Zach started to see a little bit of transition, and that allowed Smallwood to take advantage of the situation and get himself to the finals of the Players' Championship again.
Of the 3 shows, like Mike was saying before, the rookies have made the run. So the first show was, the big guy,
Chris Bledsoe.
Chris. So he ran the ladder, lost. He finished second, right?
Yep.
Kevin Williams was the 3rd seed.
Yeah. We saw Benjamin Martinez.
Martinez was the one. He won the first 2 games or one.
He won the first match and then lost in the roll-off to Kevin.
Yeah. And then beat Packy in the semifinals, right?
And then Kevin lost in the roll-off to Frankie.
Correct. And then this week, or last week rather, you had I'm old.
Zach.
Zach. Yeah, I'm old.
Zach.
Yeah. Zach bowls 800 his first 3, and then gets there again. Do you think like the PBA wanted to have, again, going back to Mike saying the conspiracy theory, do you think the PBA wanted to have like maybe 2 or 3 non-household names make a run to get into the finals of the Players?
Absolutely. I think,
but you can't manifest that like you can in other sports.
Correct.
You know what I mean? In other sports, if you're calling a basketball game, you can obviously fix the game to, make it worst team win. But I couldn't think of any way you could, make somebody else play better than somebody.
That you could allow the lesser household names to have more of a chance when the guys that forwards are here and guys that the less household names are a little bit down here. When the pattern gets softer, they creep up just a little bit. Not going to say that they're going to get better than them, but I'm going to say they're a little more used to striking on house shots, striking on patterns that are a little bit softer. So I think it allows them to get a little more comfortable under the lights and give themselves a run. I think it's great for bowling on TV when you do see new faces, especially as fans of the sport, that there is hope. There's new guys coming, that it isn't going to be just these same 5-10 guys every week on the show.
Yeah,
that is true.
Good point. That's why he gets paid the big bucks here, Mike.
So let's go into this second show. Or anybody got any last thoughts about the Central region?
Oh, really?
I got
a lot
to say about the Eastern region, though.
All right, so let's get into the East region. The East region TV show featured Chris Vi and Timmy Foy in the opening match, and more history being made here in this opening match. To start off, Tim Foy got into this TV show because Bill O'Neill unfortunately had COVID the week that these TV shows were taped.
That's heartbreak.
We talked about it, the heartbreak that Tim had, just missed TV Tim with, and you wish what Bill had to anybody. But Tim Foy was in the show in the top 5 from about game 2 on of the tournament, and he didn't fall out of the show until the 10th frame of game 28, which was the last game of the tournament. He did a mark in the 10th, the last game, going on a double and big forward, and that was all she wrote. So that's how Tim Foy got into this 5-man step ladder. It was supposed to be Bill O'Neill, and we got another first-time player on TV.
By the way, 6, 9, 10 was probably the worst shot anybody's thrown on those 4 telecasts so far.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And that was on TV, so he gets the pass.
Wait a minute. Remember when Andrew Anderson just went 2-8-10? That was pretty bad.
Yeah, that was pretty bad too. All right, good point.
Because you got to throw it really bad for it not to hook back.
Yeah. Now here's Chris Vi. 2 shows under his belt, both in the majors, and
this is his 3rd major show in a row, by the way.
Yes. And he just slapped the 10 like there was nobody's business there.
Yeah, I think Chris is just on the verge of breaking through. I mean, I think he's got a really, really solid game. He proved it last year, making the show at the U.S. Open, the show at the World Series. Obviously, it stunk that things did end up getting closed down, but I think he's right there where I think this season is going to be the season that Chris Vi wins for the first time on tour.
Bold predictions.
Yeah, I agree. And you liked him too. You said if he got out of the first match, you liked him to make a run at this thing.
Yeah, I think Chris has a really solid game. He's got something different as compared to the other two-handers. He's got such a smooth game, such a smooth release, I think.
Very athletic.
Yeah, and based off of what I just mentioned about making back-to-back shows at the majors back in February and March of last year, I think he's got it under his belt that he can do that. And I think now he's got a little more confidence talking after this game.
Especially.
I mean, obviously he lost the next match to Michael Davidson, but I still think that now he's even got a little more confidence when he bowls on TV.
Oh, 100%. So, have any of you guys ever heard a guy go, "Ugh," or "Oh God," so many times and put 10 back every shot? That was the kind of the theme on this show, it seemed like. How many guys thought they threw it out the window or missed left and it could go through the beak and it just put 10 back?
Well, yeah, I mean, I would totally agree with you.
Oh my goodness! Look at that.
And you're not beating these guys when they have that much room. You're not.
No, especially like a guy like Chris with that much power and that much rev rate. When his ball hits his pocket, it's going to strike.
It's kind of like playing golf with Tiger Woods, but having Tiger Woods start 50 yards ahead of everybody else off the tee. You're not beating him.
No, you're not.
You're not beating him. And he knows it too. I mean, look at him.
These guys. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, like, you're not beating that. There's no way you're beating that. Timmy Foy, for his first show ever, bowled a phenomenal game, right?
Oh, absolutely.
He just got run over. He got run over by this.
And I think that if you tell, because I talked to Tim after the show, he goes, if you told me I had 269 on the 10th, I would have taken my chances.
Oh, God, anybody would. Are you kidding me?
I mean, he did bowl a solid game, and when you get beat by 300, I mean,
yeah,
tough loss, but
that's tough.
Here's a good one for you. This is a little fact. Timmy's the first bowler, I believe, to make his first show and have 300 tossed at him in his first telecast.
That would be interesting.
There's only been 30 of them on TV, though.
Yeah, I don't think. I think we were frozen here to beat here. Yeah, I think he's the first guy to have 300 thrown at him on his first telecast.
It's possible.
You want to count Mullen and Chris Sand when your father shot 300 on TV. But they were amateurs. That was at the Masters, so they weren't members. It wasn't a PBA tournament when Dad was on the Masters show.
Right.
Now this guy threw it well.
Yeah. Michael Davidson.
He throws it well.
Yeah, by the way, another first-time TV show.
Yes.
And starting off unlucky break there, but we'll see that he does end up making it. And he makes another split here late in the game that actually helps him out a lot when it comes down to the 10th frame.
Oh, that 278, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You talked about striking so much that, that'll unease your nerves on TV. How about making a 4.9?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
That helps out.
Right? That
helps out.
Yeah, your first frame on TV, 4.9, make the spare. It's a pretty damn good start.
It's a damn good verge, too. What I just did there?
Yeah, and another guy throwing that ball on TV. You see that one, it just looked like it rolled out a little bit, but and Chris Vi, by the way, front six on TV.
What did he have? He had 17 in a row before he missed. Was it 17 or 16?
It was either 16 or 17, yeah. Hang
in there.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah, take it off.
But it was just funny because you heard him like grunting when he threw one bad. Dude, it's 10 back.
Yep. I think that's from being at this level and being so used to having so little room on tour that when you get on a pattern like this where you have so much room, you just flat out don't realize it.
That's true.
Mhm.
Also, I don't know if you've ever felt this, Justin, but I've noticed, through the years now, the more I bowl on sports shots, the worse I get on a house shot. It's pretty bad. This last Saturday morning, I shot 250 to save a series for 590.
Mike, I know a guy, a pretty decent bowler in his own right, who he came and subbed with me a couple of years ago in league, and he's a pretty well-known bowler. He uses the left hand when he plays the game, and I think, what did he have, Justin? 320 for two, getting off the plane from the Bowlmaster.
Oh yeah, with his balls with 360 on it.
Yeah, two balls to 360 and spare ball. He had 320 for two in league. He bailed 250 to get to 580 that night, or 570
with his plastic ball.
Yeah, I'm not going to say who that guy is.
So back to the match here. This was actually a pretty big shot in the match.
Yeah.
That changes the momentum of the game. Obviously, Chris's first Open, and really Michael Davidson's big chance to get back in the match. As you see here now, he gets up in the 10th frame, needs a first hit in 9 to win the game. And let's think back real quick to that 4-9 he made in the first and the 2-7-8 he made in the fourth. He misses one of them. He's out of this game.
Game's out of the wood.
Yeah, he's out of this game and he's going home.
Pretty awesome.
A really good shot there. When that 10 falls that late, you know he threw really good.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, I think this was the game that Mike bowled the more solid game when it came to making those splits, making better shots. You talked about how Chris Vi had plenty of room, and that was almost trouble there, as he needed 9 on the first ball to win, or 8-1, or 7 spare, and he almost just got 6.
Yeah.
What do you say, Ball?
Yeah, that was very close to 6 right there.
Yeah,
6. That was almost very close to being a loser for Mike, but he ends up.
How do you feel about this? How do you feel about this shooting a spare this way? I think that is very off.
The 2 is off too.
Going straight at it. I mean, I'm taking my strike ball. I just got to get one of them. Are you kidding me? I'm moving my feet 2 to the right, throwing the same thing. That's scary.
Oh yeah. So going to the next match, we've got 2 guys that actually bowl against each other quite often, both from Ohio, both from relatively the same area in Ohio. And we got to take note of the style of Brandon Novak. For those of you who haven't seen him bowl, that didn't watch the show, he's got, I think, one of the, if not the most unique form in bowling I've ever seen.
What did Randy call him?
He was Jacob Buttriff before Jacob Buttriff made a show, because I remember he made the show with Chris Prather, right? The double show.
Yeah.
And that was how many years ago?
It was long.
And everyone was like, "Wow, look at that!"
Yeah.
And then Jacob Buttriff came along, and then it was like,
"Look at that one." Randy called him like an octopus, didn't he? Some kind of an octopus.
Maybe a figure 8 kind of motion, but I mean, you see that hit on TV, that's trouble right there.
He bowls. He knows how to bowl. We talked about this a couple times already.
Yeah, he definitely knows how to play the game.
And
if you see his position at the bottom of the swing,
it's perfect.
It's absolutely, and you notice that with all the professionals, basically, they're all really at the same place at the bottom of the swing.
Exactly.
It doesn't really matter how they get there, but
Mike, we talked about that a couple times already in our previous shows. It doesn't matter what you do to get to the line. As long as your last 2 steps are good and you can repeat it, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And Novak, he knows how to bowl. I mean, he is a shot maker. For looking like that, he repeats shots. He is tough. He really is tough.
Yeah, so, I mean, this is definitely the guy that if there was no Jacob Buttriff with his unique form, this is that guy that can strike just as much with as awkward of a form, if not even more.
Yeah. You know, I talked to him once, Justin. I don't remember if it was face to face or we were talking online or whatever. And I said to him that I kind of admired him because I have a crappy swing just like he does, right? And I said to him, "What do you feel like when?" And that's the match right there, by the way.
Yeah, that was really hurting the game as he needed a double and 9 to win the game. Gets up, doesn't throw it very good for a 3-6, and then chops a spare.
Yeah,
that's about all when you shot like this.
So I said to him, I said, like, well, what do you feel like when you go to the line? He goes, I feel like my swing is perfectly straight.
That's
when you've been bowling with it for a long time.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think that is what happens.
Yeah.
Oh, I would totally agree. I mean, you get so much muscle memory. That's
because when you try to make like a small change to put the swing plane in line, because I do have a little bit of trouble sometimes as my backswing gets a little bit behind my back. And when I try to make that small change to put it in line, it feels like my backswing's all the way out here.
And what I mean? That they tried to fix him in college, right? Saginaw basically told him, we want to change you. And he, see you later. Now, Mr. Troop. Mr. Troop is like a new bowler now, guys.
Yeah, I've heard that he's going through some changes and putting tons of work in.
It shows. It shows.
Oh, absolutely. I would totally agree.
And
I think he's probably stronger mentally than he ever was now, too.
Extremely as
well.
I think I was at like a play. I was at a place visit somewhere, and he was actually there. You know, when I was there, and you know, he talked a lot about the mental game, and you know, he's talking about how he's taking notes constantly, every block and stuff like that. And you know, he's not the same bowler he was when he made that show in the summer, 2015, I think it was. Not the same bowler.
Absolutely not.
No.
But I do think that the unfortunate passing of his mom has changed his outlook not only on the sport but life itself.
Absolutely.
And I think that has helped some of the major changes to his game and his mental game as well.
Yeah, you can see it. I mean, even just in his little interview, he just sounds different, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Look at
that was a heavy pin right there.
That rack was perfectly delayed for that pin to fall.
Yeah.
But this is what's amazing. Like Mike said, you know, the guys get up, they run the ladder to the title match, and they get that transition, and that was the game right there for Davidson.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't miss single pin spare on TV.
No.
No, especially when the guys are striking this much.
This is where the experience came in too. Like Troop just, you know, he knew what to do in the transition more than Davidson did. You know, same thing with the guy in the previous show when he bowled Smallwood. You know, Smallwood read the transition better and he made better shots there.
And you see the energy that Troop had right there. I mean, he came with energy in that match, and I don't know if Michael was like burned out because he just bowled 2 other ones or something, but he was not the same, I think, that he was when he was shooting 250, 240.
No, he you can see it in his eyes. He looked like a different guy in this match.
Intimidation? Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
I think he was a little bit more comfortable bowling Chris and Brandon because they had been in the same area. I mean, bowled against Mike probably all the way back to high school in junior bowling. They came out of the same area, bowled in college about the same time. And Mike bowled against Brandon Novak for a little while as a young adult bowler. So I think he was just a little more comfortable bowling against those guys because it was basically just bowling another tournament back home. But when you're talking about Kyle Troop with the season that he had last year and all the experience that he's got on TV, I think it's just a little bit different, little different mental outlook on the match itself.
Good point.
I can definitely agree with that.
It's different when you're sitting up against like a regional guy than having Belmo on the bench against you.
Exactly. It'd be like it'd be like Mike. It'd be like me and you bowling on TV. Same idea.
Yeah.
But when you see someone like Kyle Troop on the bench, your mental outlook is probably going to change just a little bit.
Just a hair.
But this match was all Kyle Troop, and Kyle Troop is the 4th number 1 seed to make it to the finals of the Players' Championship. This could be interesting with the World Cup to see all 5 number 1 seeds are going to make the stepladder. That'd be pretty interesting, but obviously it would be the guys that had earned it.
There is one interesting thing so far. There have been no lefties getting through to the final 5. Jesper and Simonelli are the 2 last lefties, right? Or is Acuna a lefty as well, or no?
No.
No, he's a righty.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, obviously if they set themselves up right, we know Simonelli can throw strikes. We know Jesper can throw strikes. It's just a matter of getting lined up and being able to strike.
So on this show, we have Jesper's the leader. Ascona, am I saying that right? Ascona, Christian Ascona.
Christian Ascona.
Simonelli.
That guy's actually from my area.
Is he?
I bowled with him in a couple sweepers before.
Yeah, you guys got a lot of bowling down there. There's something to bowling every weekend down in Florida.
There's something to bowl every weekend, Wednesday and Sunday. It's crazy. It's a blessing.
Yeah, and then you got.
Hold on, is Wednesday a part of the weekend too now? Or did I miss something?
It's a 6-day weekend in Florida, Justin.
Oh, okay, all right. Very true.
You get Simonelli, Doherty, and then the most underrated bowler on tour for the past 15 years, Dick Allen.
I would agree with that statement.
100%. So what do you guys like this weekend?
I mean, it's hard to bet against Jesper, obviously being the number 1 seed and knowing his reputation on TV that when he gets lined up, he doesn't miss.
Mm-hmm.
It's hard to make a decision, as we've talked about for, the past 40 minutes about how soft these patterns are. Anybody can win. That's how I think it is.
I would agree with that.
It's going to be anybody can win.
Yeah. I mean, you got to believe that Simonelli's a little bit more loose, a little bit more opened up now that he's not on tour full time. Now that it's not where his next paycheck is coming from. Now that he's just out there for the pure enjoyment of bowling.
But I do think Simonelli throws it a little bit too hard for what this pattern dictates.
I would agree with that.
Yeah.
You got to have a little bit of shape to it.
The guys who have won it have kind of had a little bit less ball speed, more access rotation, and they kind of opened it up a little bit more. So that's why I think maybe to your point, Mike, about, there hasn't been a single lefty that's made the, top 5 yet, is lefties don't like to open it up as much. And I think this pattern is easier if you open it up more.
Well, look at the 3 lefties that have made it. 3 lefties have made it so far, right? Wesley Lowe, Packy, obviously, and Kevin Williams. There's only 3 lefties, right?
Butter.
Oh, Butter's made one too, right?
Yeah. Those are the 4.
Well, look at those 4. They were all going around it a lot.
Yeah.
You don't normally see that. You see them going down and in. Butter's trying to trick it with urethane. No. I mean, Kevin Williams and Packy, they were in around the 4th arrow. You don't see that. Wesley Lowe was in around the 3rd arrow.
Right.
It's kind of like you're taking them out of their comfort zone to an extent.
Because that's what the pattern dictates.
Exactly. So, Mike, I agree with you saying with how Simonelli kind of throws it a little bit too hard sometimes. And spot. But it's anybody's. I like Dick Allen, to tell you the truth, coming out of the region. I do.
Mm-hmm.
I just think he's so good and he's just so underrated. He is.
Yeah.
Who are the other right-handed bowlers on the? It's Azakona,
Doherty,
Dick Allen,
and Doherty.
Doherty.
Yeah,
he's always there.
Yeah, Doherty in the first match.
Kind of like Azcona, for the reason that I think that we've seen the rookies really make the run on these shows because of how open that they are. I think he's a lot closer than some of the other guys have been coming from the number 5 seed. Him coming from the number 2 seed, that might make a little bit of a difference in this match or in this show. Yeah, I think one rookie's due to make it out of these 5 shows with the amount of first-time TV shows that there were. I think one of them's due, and I think Christian's got an opportunity.
Yeah, I don't see Jesper winning. I don't see the number 1 seed winning this out of this. I just don't. And I think it is the lefty thing. And I agree with Mike because of the way the pattern is. I don't see it. I see a righty kind of running him down. They're going to be more in their wheelhouse as that's been broken down, these past 4 telecasts.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And
I think to Justin's point about Azakona, you're talking about the whole rookie thing. I can kind of analyze his game and tell you that he is pretty good at opening up. I'll tell you, it doesn't matter what pattern we bowl on down here in a 5-game sweeper. He's the first one to get as far left as possible and, spin biscuits. He's really good at it. So, I'll give him that. Sometimes to a fault because, he tries to play the pattern the wrong way. But, I think this pattern's going to dictate that. And, we're talking about he's number 2 seed. So it's going to be a little bit of time before it gets to him. There's going to be a little bit more transition. The lane's going to be opened up. So it kind of allows him to hook the lane. And he's going to go straight to his A game. And
the lane's coming to him by the time he gets on the show.
Exactly. So I think it'll be definitely interesting to watch because if he can, do what he feels comfortable to do and make quality shots, he definitely has got a chance.
He's a one-hander, right, Mike? He is a one-hander, right?
Yep.
So the only 2-hander in this one would be Jesper.
Yes.
And yeah, it's just Jesper, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And he's on the left side.
He's on the left side. Here's a question for you. Would raising the volume of oil make it a little tougher?
I think it would change where they play on the lane, but I don't. Yeah. It wouldn't change the ratio, I don't think.
No. I don't think it. I think raising the overall volume wouldn't. I think it depends where the volume is raised.
It could make it tougher the first game.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Because if your ball is going a little straighter, if the volume's added to the middle, it could open them up or it can make them even overcliffed.
Yeah, but they're also breaking them down an hour before they go on, before the show starts.
Yeah, very true.
Whatever it is.
Very true.
You're not really seeing it like the flatness of the pattern.
No.
We're seeing it broken down for half an hour, 45 minutes already.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Before they come on. That would be a pretty cool concept, right? If you just get on like they have a show, no practice in the pair.
That's what they do at the U.S. Open. Is they only have like 3 or 4 shots on each lane before they get to the TV pair.
No. What I'm saying is the TV pair is completely fresh. Like there's no practice on it at all.
I think that's how it should be.
You go in completely blind.
Like you have. Let's say the TV pair is 11 and 12, right?
Right.
You can warm up on 9 and 10 for 45 minutes before the lights go on. But as soon as ESPN hits the lights and the show starts, you're on 11 and 12. That pair hasn't been touched yet. I
think maybe if it's a thing about topography, and they want to know because you know how the pattern's going to play. Let them bowl on the pair with the pattern on it for 30 minutes, and then they re-oil. You move over to the practice pair, they re-oil the telecast pair, and when they come back to the telecast pair, it's 2 shots on each lane. Go.
That's not a bad idea either.
Yeah, that could be.
You still want them to practice on the actual pair that they're going to use, but re-oil it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Good point. It was just something different, something a little bit different.
Yeah, I would totally agree.
Of course, a lot of the bowling fans that haven't been to a telecast or haven't been to a tournament, they don't see the pattern break down the way that we've seen it, going to events or whatnot.
Right. Absolutely.
Something a little different.
Yep.
For sure.
So, Mike, I think it's time to wrap this one up.
All right. What are we coming up next week? We're going to break down the final region.
We're going to break down the Southeast region.
And we're going to preview the final 5.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. I know that more bowling is going to get started up here soon, which I'm looking forward to. I believe that the TSC is in 2 weeks.
We're going to have a TFC preview show as well.
Yeah.
Now, Justin, are they? I don't know this. The eligibility for the TSC, is it the same where they're letting the regional guys bowl, like a PTQ to get into the field, or is it strictly national title holders again? What's your thoughts on that, guys? Let me ask you that one.
Yeah, so PBA Tour champions and regional tour champions will enter the PTQ.
What's your thoughts on that? On letting a regional player be eligible for the TSC?
I don't know.
I don't think that I have an issue with it because they have a title that says PBA attached to it.
Okay.
I do think that they have to bowl the PTQ, and that's the only way that they can get in it. And no PBA champion should have to bowl the PTQ. I would agree with that.
You know what I think? I think you should ask the touring players. Because it doesn't matter what we think. I think this tournament is more geared to the touring players. It is the Tournament of Champions. It's the touring players that have won. Those are the people you should ask about it, I think.
Right.
No,
because in a sense, it is their tournament. Because they're the only ones allowed to bowl it.
No, that's a very good point. I think if you have a national title, you should automatically be grandfathered into the Tournament of Champions. You should never have to bowl the PTQ if you have a national title, ever.
Well, I totally agree.
Regional?
No. A national title.
And it doesn't matter.
Okay.
It doesn't matter. Well,
we're talking like the Japan Cup. Does that qualify as well?
Yeah.
No?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
absolutely. But what I'm saying is, let's say a guy like, I'm going to say John Van Hees. First name comes to mind, right? John Van Hees has a national title. Why should John Van Hees have to bowl the PTQ to get into the Tournament of Champions?
He shouldn't.
He's already won on the national tour. He should be grandfathered into the TSC for life. Never.
I agree with that.
I totally agree with that.
If you want to make it for other events where he has to bowl a qualifier, that's fine. Tournament of Champions, he should be in the field automatically.
I agree with that.
And I think anybody else who won the TSC should also be grandfathered in. Like Justin, I'll give you one other example, right? Take Johnny P for an example. All right.
Right.
Granted, Johnny's at the very end of his career, right? But there's a guy who won the Tournament of Champions, right? Why should Johnny have to bowl the qualifier to get into the field?
I don't think that he should for any reason.
But again, if you read the rules, he'd probably have to go through the qualifier.
Well, I think when he bowled in Akron 2 or 3 years ago, I don't think that he had to.
Did they give him like an exemption, or they gave Salvino an exemption, right? Was this something like that?
Possibly. I'm not 100% sure.
But I'm just saying, like, guys that have won the TFC should automatically be grandfathered into bowl anytime they want.
I agree.
That's true.
Regardless of the qualifications.
If they pay the money, they should be able to bowl.
Yeah, I mean, you've won that's the biggest tournament of the year. Like, you beat the best of the best, right?
Yeah.
You have a banner because you beat the national touring guys. You should bowl the TSC whenever you want, regardless of your eligibility.
Right.
Now, I'm going to give you one more since we're kind of on this topic. I know we're wrapping up, Justin, but I'm kind of going on a rant now.
Go ahead.
So the U.S. Open, right?
Yeah.
Now, I bowled the U.S. Open twice when I was a Carolier in the late 2000s. They had 500 entries, 480 entries, whatever it was. It was an open field, right?
Right.
What do you guys feel about now the U.S. Open, right, becoming basically an invitational, by invitation only?
I mean, for somebody like me who wants to go and bowl it, it's kind of tough to say, hey, I'm going to go take a plane trip to Wisconsin to see if I make it in the PTQ to get the bowl on the weekend or to get the bowl.
You're paying $500 to bowl 8 games and pray you get through the PTQ.
Now, do I have confidence in my ability? Of course, but I still think that's a bit odd. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and that tournament was always open to everybody. That was the cool thing. Like, it was always open to league bowlers, and whatnot, and they had qualifiers around the country. And then,
I think they could do something like what they did at the Players and have a few regional events that qualify into the national event. I'm not saying it's going to go from 96 to 5, but I think that you could do something like that where let's say you go 96 guys bowl this regional and 24 make it. And just keep adding, and then the guys with the national titles, the guys that get that invitation, don't have to bowl the regional. I would agree with that. I think that's
So you're bowling the regional to make it to the U.S. Open.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be the PT. It would be a PTQ, but
That's
it would.
kind of, golf does something like that with their U.S. Open.
Yeah, it does. It's not that anyone can buy.
You have to go to a U.S. Open qualifier.
Yes.
Yeah, so have like one big, let's say 8 or 16 game tournament, 8 on a Saturday, 8 on a Sunday, and the top X from every one gets a spot in the Open.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's not that anyone can just buy into it. Like you have to somewhat earn your way into it, like junior gold, like how you have to qualify for junior gold. You have to somewhat qualify for that tournament. For the U.S. Open, I would agree that you would have to somewhat qualify for it.
But aren't they kind of doing that already? Like, who are the ones at the invitations? The all events champion from the Nationals.
Yep.
Team USA guys, right?
Yep. I believe that the
college champion too.
There's so many from the intercollegiate singles that get qualified to bowl.
And then it's X amount off the point, right?
I think junior gold champion gets in too.
Do they really?
I think so, but I think that they have an automatic spot on Junior Team USA, so that could be why.
And then it's X amount of people off the point list.
Point list prior to 2 years, yeah. I don't know, I think they have some spots for the PTQ.
And it's in Reno this year. It's not right. I believe it's
It was supposed to be. Now it's in Wisconsin.
They moved it to Wisconsin. It is in Reno.
Yeah, it was in Wisconsin. Now it's in Reno because they have that and the Masters back to back.
My bad. I mixed them up.
Yeah, you're good.
I'm looking at it right now, and I'm just taking a look here. I want to see the eligibility, like who's. All right, you ready for it? This is who gets invited. You guys ready?
Go ahead.
The PBA Players Championship winners the last 3 years. The USBC Open regular all events winner the past 3 years. The 2020 Senior Masters champion. The 2020 Senior US Open champion.
I like both of those.
2020 Junior Gold U20 boys winner. Intercollegiate Singles Championship men's winner the last 2 years.
You got no issue with that.
The top 5 finishers from the 2020 U.S. Open.
No issue with that.
Top 75 on the PBA point list as of October 9th, 2020.
Okay.
2020 Team USA and Junior Team USA members.
Okay.
2020 U.S. Amateur, the top 3 men's finishers.
Okay.
The winner of each, and this is in parentheses, up to 10 U.S. Open regional qualifiers. I didn't know they had regional qualifiers.
I think that they might be new this year.
Okay.
I didn't know they had it before.
Nope. And then it's a BPAA exemption, and the remainder of the field is filled through the PTQ. So those are the only invitations given to the U.S. Open.
All right.
And you're okay with all those?
Yeah, I mean, I think that there was thought put into all of them. I think it makes sense. Those guys are there for a reason. I mean, I'm not going to say that all of Junior Team USA should get invited to bowl, but that's about the only one that I would say no to.
I think they should scratch the whole list, and they should do exactly what they just did at the PBA Players. That's my opinion.
I like it when they used to have it open to everybody and used to get the 400 entries. It's kind of like bowling the Masters almost.
Right, with that many people.
Yeah. And that was the beauty with the Open, was they allowed the league guy. And back in the day, it was always, the league guy. You always had
his feet wet.
Yeah. And, Justin, like when it was at Carolier, there was always the one local guy from here that would make a run. Like Mike Riesner made the top 24 one year. Riccardi made the top 24 one year. Rusty made the top 24. Like there was always the one local guy that got in the top 24. You always wanted to see that. That wasn't
exciting.
It is exciting. Right. And then you got the hometown fans pulling for him in match play. Like you want to see that, and I don't think that's something you're going to see anymore.
No.
Now, would you bowl the PTQ at the U.S. Open?
Me?
Yeah.
I think the only way that I would bowl it is if I was going with Dad anyway, 1, and 2, if it was at Carolier.
Is Dad bowling the Open this year?
I believe so.
All right.
I could be wrong. Because I don't know that he's in the top 75 in points. I don't know that he has a spot.
And how ridiculous is that he would have to bowl up the PTQ to get into the field?
It's not a top
That's
75.
what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying it's flawed with the whole list, because I can't wrap my head around the fact that they're letting all these people in, and there's going to be so much talent that's left to the wind that has to take a chance, fly out, and go bowl PTQ, when it would all be fixed if they just did what they just did with the players. Because if they do that, everybody has a chance to bowl. I think, with your going on the fact of, it should be an open format, I think, maybe that is not the way they should do it, but they should definitely do the 5 qualifiers. And then the qualifying people from those 5 qualifiers make it to the big event. And I think just like the last one, it should be 28 games or, a long format. So, you're not getting a 14 gamer and let's see, who 20 guys makes it.
Yeah, I agree with that. I just find it very disheartening that a Hall of Famer with 35 titles on the national tour basically is being told if he wants to bowl the U.S. Open, he has to go to the PTQ. That's disturbing.
That is true.
Yeah. Well, that could be another topic for another day. We can go rambling on.
Absolutely. So we're gonna wrap this one up, guys. This has been a fun one, talking about the Central and the East region. Be sure to tune in Sunday to the Southeast Regional Finals. And
Fox Sports.
Yeah, Mike. Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Good seeing you, Mike.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, guys. I had a good time. It was nice talking to you guys.
I didn't hear you. What ball did you get at the doorstep? I had some audio problems.
I got the Hero Solid, the Knockout, the Black Widow 2.0, and the Aerodynamics. So 4 pretty good balls.
Sounds good.
Can't complain.
Yeah.
So, guys,
Kenny Ryan is actually drilling them as we speak.
We like Kenny Ryan.
We do.
We do like to.
So, Mike, we'll let you go pick up those bowling balls, go throw them a little bit. And as for the viewers watching, we will see you next time on the Bohn and Zano Zone. Be sure and go check out buddiesproshop.com for all your bowling needs. Go check out the vlog on my YouTube channel. Always got to check it out. Posted a new vlog last night. Shop the merch at Logo Infusion. Mike's got one of the shirts on. So
got the
wrong side.
There
you go.
I couldn't. I was like looking at myself.
And don't forget buddiesproshop.com Zone 5 to save 5% off your next order.
Zone 5 off, save 5% off your next order. So, guys, we will see you next time inside the Bohn and Zano Zone.